Good morning, everyone. My name is Rob, and today we're going to be taking you through our online ordering customer portal. So the purpose of this training is for Ball and Doggett employees, everyone within our business, to learn a little bit more about our customer portal and the functionalities that go around this. So I'm going to be doing two modules. One is around the portal and the functionality around the portal, and then second is about the icon sign. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to take you through our test portal, as you can see in front of you. We've set this up so you can play around with the portal without breaking it. We have another live site which that you have access to, which you can see more functionality, but obviously it's live, so we prefer you to run through the test site. So to log on to the test site, you can see up here, it's test.onlinedoggett.com.au. The username is the icon demo, as you can see here, and the password is icon demo ! So let's log in and we can take you through the first part of the training. So as you can see here, we're currently in the home screen. We have a range of functions that customers can see. So keep in mind, when the customer logs in, they're going to see this screen. When a Ball and Doggett employee logs in under their own username and password, they'll see a different screen, which is more behind the scenes to look up a range of information for all of your customers. So first of all, we're going to check out the advertisements. So we try to change this every quarter. The marketing team will coincide this with a new product launch or a new service that Ball and Doggett offer. Down here, we have the download function. So we'll take you through that a bit later about what functions you can bring to the front screen. You'll be able to check out different price books. So if it's a small format digital printer, they'll be able to choose the small format price list. If they're a D&V customer, they can see the wide format price list, and so on and so forth. Now, just before we start, this portal isn't just for production customers in production roles. It's also for accounts people. We understand that a lot of small businesses outsource their accounts payable, accounts receivable. So the majority of the portal is actually used by our customers from the accounts perspective to download invoices, statements, PODs, and check pricing. So as you can imagine, depending on the function, different people are going to download their favorites. Now, to set someone up on the portal, first of all, you need their first name, last name, and email address. Once we receive this information, please forward it to your state-based portal champion. They'll be able to set the customer up and provide the customer with their username and password immediately. So we've gone through the advertisements, the downloads. Next is the inquiry sent. So this is just another way of our customers transacting with us. As you know, they can call us, email us, even WhatsApp us. Any way we can transact with our customer better. So this might be someone that is transacting outside of business hours. So I'll show you just how to do a new inquiry. So when we click into inquiries, what this pretty much does is it tracks the conversation. So you'll see that the Icon demonstration team has sent an email to Glenn Ford with a time and date. And then when Glenn replies back, it'll actually show his conversation back to the customer and the time and date of his response. So if the customer's looking to send us a new inquiry, what we do, there's a button here called New Inquiries. Now, all of our employees are logged in this portal. So let's say if a customer wants to send an email to myself, they can click Rob here. We can do test email, right? This is a test. So when they send that inquiry, that'll then go to myself. as a Ball and Dog employee, you'll get a notification on your phone through your email to say that you've got a new portal inquiry. What you then need to do is you need to hop onto the portal and send the answer back. So the benefit of this is the communication also gets sent to all Ball and Dog employees on the portal through an administration. So if you've got a local Ball and Dog portal administrator, they can also reply on your behalf. So at least then we can track whether the customer has had a response back. And it's just an easy way of transacting and communicating with our customers. So second of all, we've got the bulletins up here. So what this is just an update. So we updated the portal a few years ago. We're actually in the process of developing a new portal, which will be Portal 4.0, which will have a lot of new functionalities from cutting calculators through to payment gateways. COD customers will be able to order through the portal with a payment gateway that'll automatically get transferred through to AX. So that'll be coming and launched in 2020. Next is expected orders. So this is orders that customers will be able to track in live time. So there's a couple of different status, which I'll take you through a little bit later, but they'll be able to see where their order is at. So whether it's when they've submitted it, when we're picking it through the warehouse, to when it's en route, which is when the manifest has been created, to then being a final invoiced. So they've received the stock and the POD will be uploaded onto the portal. Next is regarding the iConsignment. So this is a stock alerts. What this is it'll just tell you an update of where if there's any movement to the iConsignment, so whether you've transacted and you've increased your number of quantities on the iConsignment, whether you've reduced it, whether you've changed your replenishments, or whether you've made a trigger to your iConsignment. Next is your expected replenishments regarding the iConsignment. So for instance, this test site, you'll see that 3 packets of concrete iTone wove has been triggered and it's gone below the minimum. So now that is en route and your customer will see it within the next couple of days. So I'm just going to move over to the inventory tab. Now there's no data on here because it's a test site, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to our live site. So this is the portal administration site. So if I go to inventory and just move as an example, I'll move into the IVE business, so IVE New South Wales. So what the customer can see here is all of the products that he's got in charge and held. So this is a direct link within AX. So if you run a stock status report, this is the same information they're going to receive. So you'll see, for example, this is a 3 config. It is in the N1A warehouse, and they've got 208,000 sheets as physical on hand, available on hand, that they can draw from. You'll see here the next is JIT, so this is consignment. Under a 2 config, you'll see again the warehouse, what they've got as a physical on hand, and they'll be able to order that in a separate part of the portal. So let me jump back to our test portal now, and we move into orders. So what this is just an overview of all of the orders that the customers have placed with Ball and Dogget. Now you'll see all of these are quite old because it's a test site, but it just gives you an indication of where, what the information of the portal portrays. So as I said before, once a customer submits an order within the portal, it'll then say submitted, which I'll show you and I'll take you through. If a customer wants to view that order, they can view it and they can see that EcoStar, they've ordered some EcoStar 500 sheets, the price per 1,000, and created by whoever's created by with their reference number. Next is going to be picking. So once a customer service or portal representative checks the stock and the stock is okay, they then post it to picking list, which the status will then change. Once the picking is complete and the dispatch team put it to a manifest, it will then say en route. And then once that manifest has been closed off, it'll then say invoice. And then when the PODs have scanned in the system, you'll see the POD be uploaded to the portal. But because this is a test site, there's no PODs here. So one of the good functionalities of the portal is that the customers can request their own invoice purely by clicking this. So you'll see the invoice here. Now, all of these will be populated for all of the customers' invoices. If they want to request a copy of an invoice, all they need to do is click this button. You'll see a little arrow has been sent. So the person who has logged into that portal, the reason why we need their email address is that they can request a copy of the invoice that will be sent to whoever's logged in on the portal at that time. So they will receive this as a separate PDF that will be emailed separately. So as I said before, the accounts team within businesses, if you're constantly getting requests for copies of invoices, I would recommend that you take them through this training session, set the accounts people up on the portal, and they can then take them through and they can request copies of their invoices. Now for the production teams, this is a really good way of placing orders through the portal. Now, pretty much the target market for this is anyone who's calling up our customer service team should have the ability that they can place orders online. Now, the Ball and Doggett portal is not for everyone. Anyone who has their own MIS system would automatically generate purchase orders to Ball and Doggett, so they wouldn't be a target market for us because most of these customers don't want to double enter an order in their as it duplicates the time. So really the target market for this is customers who are constantly calling for smaller orders or people who are generating manual emails to our business. They would be an optimal target for this. So first of all, we've gone into the orders tab, we've gone into new order, and then we've got into, you can see all of the tabs across here. So we've broken it up into commercial range, digital range, and display and visual. And where I showed you before, this is where they can order their charge and held and their consignment. So for instance, let's take you through how to place an order. Let's go into digital range, into coated. Let's go into King Kong. So what this will do will also show what the customer pays per 1,000. So if they constantly ask you, what is my price, they'll be able to access this information as well. So let's say for an example, one of my customers wants to order 1,000 sheets of the King Kong 260 GSM long grain. Now all of this is done in sheets. I'll take you through the iConsignment, which will be done in packets, but don't mistake the two of them. So this will be done in sheets. Type in 1,000, press add. You'll see that my card has now gone to 1, and they can continue placing the orders. Now I'm going to take you through how to add products onto their favourites. So this is a really good way that we can be proactive with getting our customers to use the portal by making it easy as possible. So number one is you can see this little star button. So if we identify what products a customer's existing has used in the past, and we make a shopping list for these guys, then there's more likely chance that they're going to use it because they don't need to navigate through that existing search criteria that I just took you through. So let's say, for instance, a customer usually buys the King Kong 260. They can click this star button. They also use, let's say, some 310 GSM, so they can click on that. What they can then do is then go to favorites. You'll see their shopping list that I've just added. So the King Kong, we want to order 1,000 sheets of that as well. Press add, and you'll see there's 2 items in my cart. For here, then they can take you through the order process, so they can check this is what they've ordered. If they wanted to, they change the unit of measure. In some of our items, you can change this to per pack if that's the way they like, but keep in mind they need to change the unit, the quantity per unit if they do that. So to continue through the order, they can press next. They need their reference number. I'm going to put Rob, Rob2, delivery notes, AM tomorrow, and the delivery day. So this will be for the next day delivery, and I'm going to submit that. It'll say you will not be able to edit the order once it has been submitted. Do you wish to continue? They press yes. And then you'll see back to order search, and you'll see that I've just processed that order. They'll be able to check that that is all correct, and then they can go back. Now, another good functionality of the portal is that our customers can also track and reconcile their orders. So there's a little arrow button where they can, if they've got a specific sales order number they want to look it up, then they can type that in. So let's say you can use that sales order number here. They can punch that in and then press filter, and that'll show them through that particular sales order here. So really good for accounts range. If the customer wants to reconcile for the last 30 days, they can do that and then press filter, and then they can use that functionality as well. So then we're going to move to reports. So now there's not a lot of reports on here because this is a test site. So I'm going to jump back into our live site, and I'm going to go to reports. All right, so let's say, for instance, we're still on IVE. What I can do, there's a bunch of reports here. So same as Report Manager, this is probably slightly easier to use, a bit more user-friendly, and obviously the customers can run their own reports too. So once we move on to this, we can, the first report is the consignment on hand. I've clicked on that, and there's only one report, so we generate report. The reason why we do that, that's all in live time. So this is a really good function that if you've got stock on the floor, that if someone wanted to reconcile, they can, the customer can print this own report out. Also good for graphics who have manual consignments, although it's probably a time that the guys move over to iConsignment, it's just a far easier process. So as you can see here, this is all the consignment product that they've got on the floor. Also with a column where they can use the counted quantity, the used quantity, and then they can go through this process. All right, so then next is a customer stock status report. So we generally have automatic updates, but if someone wanted this report, or they wanted to get access to this report, they could literally type in generate report, and they can run this in live time. This is all linked to our purchasing team, so we'd be able to track when a customer is receiving a specific stock based on their shipments. So as you can see here, we click on this little link, which will then take you to the stock status report. Right, so you'll see on order, the customer consignment, this will be their order number here, requested date, purchase order, sales order, their balance, and then their unit price. So we've got customer consignment, we've then got indent, delivery and arrival here, indent direct delivery here, and then we've got that was on order, and then this is on hand, as you can see here. So if a customer wanted to place orders through this method, and they don't have the ability to do it through their portal, one of the good functionalities within the orders is that the customer can then place the orders through the held, right? So you can see that they've got in live time 208,000 sheets. They can put an order for 8,000 sheets and then press add, and then that'll get sent through to our customer service team, or then our indent coordinators can process this. So really easy way for our customers that can order their indent items. So as you can see here, this is the consignment, that was the charge and held, and then they can place their orders through here. All right, so back to reports. Then we're going to go to iConsignment transactions. So IVE are probably one of our biggest users of iConsignment. What they can do is go back to a date range, press generate report, and then they can see in, click to download your report, and then they can see what they've used by a time. So 24th of the 3rd at 12 p.m, they use 6 packets of the Sovereign Silk SRA3 128 GSM. The good thing is they can also see who processed it. So this is a really good way just to make sure that the customer's using the consignment appropriately. Next is the portal usage. So this is a report just to see whether guys are using their portal usage, see who's logged on. Also, we have the function, I forgot to mention, that they have the ability to see their debtor info. Now, this is probably not something for the production managers, more for the accounts receivable staff, accounts payable, and the owners. Not everyone likes to know or have their employees understanding what they owe to each supplier. So I would recommend that Ball & Doggett staff review this, and if there's changes in staff that currently need to use the portal, then I would highly recommend that you add them to the portal. You can also see when they've last logged in. So obviously these guys, if they're the wrong people or they haven't logged in because they don't need to, as long as someone is logging in at that time. So sales history is really probably one of the best functions. This is the same information we're going to get out of Focus, but you can log in anywhere. So rather than logging in through Citrix, you'll be able to log into the portal, maybe on your own tablet, and take your customers through what their history is. Now, this is a really good way if a customer is looking at iConsignment to understand what they are using. So you can, their most common items would be one of the best ways to use the sales history. Also, if you're going to add someone, add their favourites to the portal, you'll be able to track back and go through the most commonly used items, and then you can add that to the portal. So what this does, it comes in Excel. So if you're quite savvy with Excel, this is a really good way. You can use pivot tables. Let's say I want to add a filter to this. I want to understand all of the Barry bleach board that these guys are using. So they've used over the last 7 days a couple of this. So you can filter this by time. This is just a really good way that you can know a bit more about the customer and even show them the sort of information that we can get to better service them. So really good function. The Focus system is probably easier, but obviously if you're in front of a customer, I would use this because there is a lot of sensitive data in front of with the Focus system. All right, so then I'm going to take you to the downloads. So what the downloads is a way of accessing all of the different price books. So when you run a price book within the system, now everyone should know this already because we've been using this method for some time. But if, let's say, for instance, a customer is using small format digital quite regularly, what you can also do is for that particular person in that digital department, they can add it, add to favorites, which will then bring it to the home screen. Now I'll go back to the test site. And this is where the downloaded favorites would be in the customer portal. So for different people within the business, maybe an accounts person, they will see the customer statement as being something as what they want to see. Some with proof of delivery, maybe a pricing that they want to check. So different people are going to have different requirements. What I would do during this time is I would do a full audit of your customer base, see who are using the portal, who might want access to the portal, and if there's any changes to personnel within your businesses, within your customers, then maybe it's a good time to review this whole process. So guys, that's it for today. Please, if you have any questions, contact me on rob.brussolo@ballanddoggett.com.au or give me a call on 0433 774 300, and we can take you do further training either one-on-one or I'm happy to jump on a call with your customers to take them through their training as well. All right, so bye for now. Thanks for listening, and we'll take you through the iConsignment on the next module. Thank you.